Welcome along to the Met Office 10-day trend. As Aidan was talking about, last week's 10-day trend, high pressure, is now dominating across the UK. And for many, it is a cracking day as I record this on Wednesday with plenty of autumn sunshine. But it was a cold start, a first extensive frost across much of the south. Will it last? Well, kind of. In some ways, high pressure will be close by to the UK for the foreseeable future. So the overall trend is a lot drier after what was a very wet October. But we are going to see a shift because we start with cold mornings and temperatures by day below average. But we are going to see a shift to much milder weather as we go through the weekend and beyond into next week. It does look a lot milder, but also quite murky with a lot more cloud around compared to how we're starting at the moment with plenty of sunshine. Fog is also going to be a bit of an issue for the next couple of mornings, particularly so across the south on Thursday morning. What's going on? Well, let's look at the bigger picture, and as is often the case when we're talking about drier spells, high pressure is dominating, and this one's just ambling across the UK. It's been nudging in from the Atlantic over the past couple of days, sitting across the country during Thursday. Notice quite a few isobars across Scotland, so it will still be quite windy here. And then the high just starts to head its way, wobble its way out towards the near continent by Friday. So with high pressure nearby, that's why we're seeing the drier weather, and it's that movement of the high that's bringing the change in temperatures. If we rewind the sequence and look at the start, with the high to the west, we've got winds coming in from the north, the low-level flow there coming down from the north, which is why it's below average. We've started the day with morning frosts. But as the high moves across the country and then heads out to the east, we've got a complete switcheroo by Friday and into the weekend, southerly winds, and that's why we're going to see higher temperatures developing through the weekend and beyond. So the next couple of days, yes, high pressure nearby, a lot of dry and fine weather. It will be windier across Scotland. That here will help to prevent fog and frost, but certainly further south there will again be a frost on Thursday morning, and some thick fog patches are likely too. They could take a while to clear. It's that time of year when they may take most of the morning to disappear. But once they've gone, we should see plenty of sunny spells. And then we start to see a bit more of a change into the weekend. Again, looking at the bigger picture, high pressure is still dominant, but it's much further away now across eastern parts of Europe where the centre of the high is sitting. And that's just allowing the low pressure in the Atlantic to start to influence things a little bit more. We've got those southerly winds bringing up the milder air, but they're also going to be bringing up more moisture. And that means it's going to be cloudier, so we'll see much more low cloud and mist developing through Saturday and into Sunday. Now, particularly by Sunday, that low is quite close by, and with lower pressure influencing things, there's an increasing chance also of seeing some showers. Now, not the torrential rain or the extensive rain that we saw last weekend, but there will be some showery rain around through the weekend, most likely on Sunday. But it will be a very mild weekend. There will be a lot of low cloud around, but where we see some sunshine through the weekend, temperatures could really jump up because it will be mild. So with those southerly winds, it's going to be areas to the north of hills that are most likely to see some sunshine. So the Murray coastline, for example, but also North Wales. If you see some sunshine here, sheltered by Snowdonia, well, temperatures could get into the high teens on Sunday. For most, though, don't expect a lot of sunshine this weekend, a lot of cloud, but it will be quite mild. We won't have the morning frosts. What about next week? Well, that low looks like influencing things a little bit more at the start of the week, and that could provide even some heavier showers for a time on Monday. But let's look now at the bigger picture. I'm halfway through the 10-day trend. I haven't mentioned the jet stream yet, so let's take a look at that. Where is it? Well, that's a good question. It's way up to the north. Quite an unusual position to see it that far north early next week, extending across Greenland and Scandinavia. So we're on the warm side of the jet, which is why it's mild. And with the jet really not influencing things, well, the pressure pattern at the surface close to the UK is going to kind of stick. There's nothing to shift the highs and the lows around. So that position we're in early next week with low to the west, high to the east, looks like staying the position for most of next week. That's the battleground. High pressure to the east, low pressure to the west. And when that's set up, when we have that set up, well, that means the winds are going to be coming in from the south. And we've got southerly winds, that means temperatures are going to be above average. And that's one of the things we're confident about next week. It looks like it will be mild. But whether the high has more of an influence and keeps things pretty much dry, or whether the low starts to influence things and brings a bit more showery rain, certainly into the west, well, that's one area we'll have to keep a close eye on through next week. But overall, as I said, the mild theme will persist, as this graph shows. This is the European model, the ECMWF model temperature trend for Cardiff. I chose Cardiff, could have chosen pretty much anywhere. Those red nodules, that's the maximum temperatures, the blue ones, the minimum temperatures, and that shows the dip at the moment, below average, both of them. That middle red line is the average maximum temperature, and you can see those red nodules go up through the weekend and then stay above that red line through next week. So above average temperatures, and actually those nodules are quite small for this kind of lead time, which tells us we're pretty confident, there's not much uncertainty, that those temperatures will remain above average through much of next week by day, and the nighttime temperatures will also be on the rise. So the main themes for next week, we're expecting it to be mild with high pressure nearby. It is going to be not as wet as it was recently, much drier than October generally, and with low pressure in the west, that's where we're most likely to see some showery rain at times. We're not going to see as much frost because those temperatures by day and by night will be above average. As always, we're talking about the 10-day trend. This is just a flavour. What we're looking at, the trends for the bigger picture next week. For the day-to-day nitty-gritty detail, you need to stay tuned to Met Office updates. And the best way to do that is to follow us on social media.